Chris Paul must be in town.
That or Julio, since he's got no more football left in the year.
Man, that joke was terrible. I told y'all that a long time ago. He need to sit his ass down somewhere. There she is.
Hi.
What's up, baby?
How are you?
Old, slow, and tired.
Oh, what?
Old, slow, and tired. That's always my response when people ask me, Coach, how you doing today? Old, slow, and tired.
Wow.
Why is that saying that's straight from the hip? I typed that.
I know.
Why is my camera off? All right.
Oh, Miss Carrie rubbing her hands together and everything. Well, you ready to eat, ain't you?
No,
you
not at all.
Carrie?
Not at all. Not at all. I didn't mean to convey that message.
Yeah, you did. That's the best kind. When your subliminal thoughts just made it happen, you didn't realize what you were doing. That's what I'm talking about. Subliminal, baby. Subliminal messages.
We're Bill Cosby.
Oh, yeah, she's in the house, man. She's just not ready. She is not in her hand like this, like she get ready to eat, boy. She get ready to eat. What's up, Tom? Tom in the building. Tom, how come y'all don't have any new movies coming out tomorrow night or Thursday? Y'all always have new movies on Thursday night. I didn't see one.
Who's y'all, Coach?
Tom works at the movie theater.
Oh.
He works
I was looking at movies that were coming out lately. There's nothing coming out.
Dude, I was shocked. I mean, normally they have at least one movie, a new movie come out every Thursday. So I rushed to go see it Thursday because everybody else, they got to wait to see it Friday. I normally go try to catch it on Thursday when there's a little less people in there and less people talking and all that. Hey, Mr. Butler, how you doing, sir? But I didn't see it in there. I looked on Fandango, and I was hoping that it was wrong or something because I didn't see anything new.
Yeah, I was looking at IMBD or whatever, just movies coming out in 2022, and there's nothing till like March. It's bad.
Tom said he's just a bartender. Ask somebody else. I ain't mad at you, Tom. I ain't mad at you. They got these movies, The King's Daughter, The Tiger Rising, Redeeming.
I want to see Tiger Rising.
Huh?
Tiger Rising's a good book. It's going to be a good movie. Queen Latifah's in it.
What's it about?
The Tiger Rising.
Yeah, ain't number some bullshit.
Tiger King.
I can tell by the cover of the other thing, it ain't no good.
Latifah's in it.
Queen Latifah?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
She's also in The Equalizer.
Travis said, oh, boy.
She was also in Barbershop 2 or 3 or one of those.
Barbershop 2. She did okay in that. That was all right. That wasn't no big deal. But, I mean, she's a tough sell for me as an Equalizer. When you had the white dude, I can't think of his real name, and then you had Denzel Washington, and now you bring in Latifah. I mean, boy, those some hard shoes to fill right there, boy. Latifah gonna have a hard time filling them shoes.
I love that Equalizer movie with Denzel.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Butler.
I
I
don't know
know I'm gonna go see this week. I think I'm gonna go see Kingsman. I hadn't seen it yet. Jason seen it, and he said he laughed his ass. So Jason really enjoyed the movie. He said that you just had to go in there with the right attitude, and I ain't the right attitude kind of guy. So I know I'll struggle watching that. Miss Carey done dissected me all day and told me all about my character traits and talked about my mama and everything in the chat that we have.
No, I did not.
I mean, just y'all. I'm embarrassed at the way Miss Carey talked to me. I was thinking about coming on here. I was thinking about coming on here before the show even starts. You'll go ahead and demand a public apology from Miss Carey for talking about my mama the way she did. But
I'm sick of what you said, and I'm going to demand a public apology out of you from what you said in the chat.
What about her beating you in the Jerry Lewis?
No, about my Bengals and the fact that you weren't even going to give any love to my Bengals for this week.
Did you say something about Jerry Lewis?
How bad Tennessee
You didn't see my Jerry Lewis comment? I said, you must be running a Jerry Lewis marathon.
Oh, I did see that.
I said, if you got knocked down 9 times and still won.
I'm a badass. You couldn't see that, though. You can't see that.
No, you're right. You're right. Because you can't be a badass. You get knocked down 9 times.
Yeah, you can.
You ain't got no competition. You ain't got no competition.
Absolutely,
that's all that is.
You can.
You ain't got no competition.
You think, if Tom Brady got knocked down 9 times, you think they would have won the game? Hell no.
Here's my thing. Y'all don't pay what we're talking about. I'm waiting. I'm saying, Miss Peavy. I'm glad, Miss Peavy, thank you. I got a voice of reason in the house. That's all I need right there. I got one. Miss Peavy, you in here. That's because Mr. Butler gonna stick up for his boy. Tom probably had a little, Tom doing his thing. So Tom kind of might be out there a little bit. But
I don't see
that Miss Hood here too. Even though I'm gonna talk about Julio like a dog tonight. I'm going
I'm playing the video so we can get started.
Come on.
Play the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats, the this and that to keep this show on point. And when we're done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey, yo, let's get it poppin'.
Hey, welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you live from the Imperial Palace on Black Mania. For those of you, hey, Lynn Marie, I see we got Miss Lynn Marie. I'm not sure who that is. So we got we got company tonight now, so y'all don't act up on this show. Hey, Lynn Marie, I just want you to know that I'm probably going to have you muted here shortly because you can't be saying all that who they stuff.
Who they?
Yeah, we don't. Like I said, they better be who they gonna get the block for your quarterback this week. That's the who they.
Who they?
When you have 9 sacks, who they? That's what who they stand for. Who they gonna get to help me save my life? That's what the quarterback asking. Who they got? Who they? That's what that who they is for. Anyway, Lynn Marie, welcome to the show. I am Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, and to my, let me see which way you are, Miss Carey. You're to my left. I don't know what it's looking like to y'all, but to my left, we have Miss Carey coming from downtown Atlanta. What's up, baby girl?
Welcome to my Imperial Palace.
You had a good weekend, didn't you?
I did.
I know you did. Look at y'all glow. You glowing tonight, baby. You got it going all night, boy. You are. I ain't never seen you this happy. I told Travis, maybe Chris Paul was in town because took you a little while to get on.
Oh my.
I had to check the schedule and see if the Hawks were playing the Suns tonight, because took you a little while to get on the screen tonight. So I just checked.
Silly. You are silly. I was checking my social work books so I make sure I came in here correct today.
And to my right, from parts unknown, the mountain man, Mr. Travis Butler. What's up, Travis?
Hey guys, I'm doing great.
Yeah, I bet you are. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the night started. Everybody knows we're gonna talk football tonight. We got a lot to talk about. I am that guy who I'm a little bit different in that I watch football, as these guys will tell you, a little bit differently from everybody else. So we're gonna talk about the first game of the night. Let me see if I can find it here. Travis, you might have to find it on yours. I'm having trouble finding it on my phone right now.
Cincinnati and Tennessee, first game.
Cincinnati and Tennessee, was that the first game?
It sure was.
Okay. The final score was what, Travis?
The final score was Cincinnati winning 19-16.
Okay. So when you have a playoff game and you this deep in the playoffs and neither team scored 20 points, you know it wasn't nothing but some bullshit. So that just lets you know right there that it was a terrible game. Unmute it, Travis. I just go ahead and unmute it. That lets you know right there it was a bad game. And the thing to me is that I'm always disappointed when I see poor football. I don't care on what level. I don't care if they're 6 years old. I don't care if they're high school, like where I coach, or college or whatever. I just don't like seeing bad football. I don't like seeing bad football play, and I don't like seeing bad coaching. And I saw a lot of that this whole weekend, just across the board. But Cincinnati stayed in there. I tell you what, the one thing I, as a coach, am starting to appreciate a lot about Cincinnati, I like their receivers. I mean, it's not just Jamar Chase, and he's a bad boy, don't get me wrong, but they really got like a good core of receivers that I think are really good. The running back, I'm kind of, I mean, he's okay. I think he's definitely above par. I mean, he's above middle of the road. But like I said, I'm not really sold that much on him. And then Joe Burrow, thank God, I finally heard somebody on TV say it today, because somebody was asking, is he the best in the league now, or is he in the top 5? And he was like, dude, y'all stop that. He was like, man, y'all pump the brakes on that. He's like, he ain't even been in this league that long. Give this man some time to be in the league before you start talking about him being top 5 or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. I just need to hear somebody with some reason say something like that. Let me know that I'm not the only one out here who feels that way. So anyway, we're going to let Travis go last. Miss Carey, we're going to let you go first. Go ahead, Miss Carey. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think that as we were talking about Joe Burrow and his success and his potential, we were talking about him being like the top of his class and what's coming. Mm-hmm. I think at some point we were comparing him to the Chargers quarterback. Yeah, and we said his trajectory looks a lot different than dudes. It just does. And so while I don't consider him the top of in today's top 5, I do absolutely think he is the way of the future, and that at some point we will be calling him, just like we didn't consider Josh Allen anything initially. Right. And look what he's doing now. I think Joe Burrow will follow that same trajectory. He has that same talent. Okay. I'm happy for it. Cincinnati, I don't view the game the same way that you do, of course. I don't have the credentials that you do. I thought it was an amazing game. They almost let Tannehill sneak back in, but Tannehilled.
Stop for 1 second. I got to cut you off. Just tell me why you think it was an amazing game. Because it was close?
No, because when the players needed to step up, when the players were met with competition, right? So when the score started creeping up on them, they didn't let it or defeat them. Like they kept rising to the occasion and rising to the occasion. And every time I thought, oh crap, Tannehill's going to slip on a banana peel, like Coach says. Oh, but Joe Burrow kept saying, not on my watch, you're not going to. I'm going to keep. And he kept rising his team and bringing his team with him. And that was one thing that I challenged early, was that young quarterbacks have a hard time leading. When the score gets close or when they're behind, they have a hard time bringing the entire football team up. Joe Burrow did not have difficulty doing that. He kept pulling his team up and asking them to show up, to keep the lead and to keep the win. So, I mean,
let me say this, because you're bringing up some great points. And from a coaching standpoint, what we would say is that they did very well dealing with adversity. That's a big coaching statement right there. In how well are we going to deal with adversity? Everybody's cool when you're winning. Everything's great when you win. But when you said, like you said, they kept coming back, they kept rising up, and the Bengals did a good job of dealing with adversity. I think that's what you're saying. I'm just making sure.
That's all I got. I didn't even expect Tannehill to show up to this degree. Like, I thought it would be a bigger win. But Tannehill gets lucky. That's the reason he's still in the league. That's the reason he's still a starter, because he keeps showing up kind of like Garoppolo. When you're so sure he's shit, he shows up and does something.
Mm-hmm.
And gets another contract because of it.
I hear you, baby. I don't think you're going to get another one this time. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Go ahead, Travis.
Okay. As the resident Bengal fan on this show, I'm going to try and stay as neutral as I can, okay? Just letting everyone know that.
Yeah, we know that ain't going to happen, Travis. Go ahead and talk.
I really am, okay? I really am.
Just go ahead and get it over with.
First thing, Ryan Tannehill had a terrible game. He was awful. He threw some terrible passes. He threw passes that no quarterback should have made or passed, and the Bengals capitalized on it, okay? That's football. That happens. The Bengals were in the right place at the right time to be able to do that, okay? That's called football. Sometimes
Travis, that's not necessarily true, but based on what you just said. You say he threw balls where they weren't even supposed to be. Why would the Bengals be in those places if you said they were in the right place at the right time? I mean, you contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that the Bengals made the plays that were there to be made.
Okay.
The second interception, the one that Tannehill threw when they were on the Bengals 10-yard line, he tries to throw it over Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton jumps up, tips it up in the air, makes an athletic good play, and catches the ball for an interception and runs 40 yards. Okay,
but my point is that sounds like a good ball. It just sounds like the defender made a good play. I mean, why are you blaming Tannehill for that one? Because if he threw it the way you're talking about, that just means the defender. I tell people all the time, don't rob that man from his great play because he made a great play. If he jumped up there and tipped it to himself, that's a great play. I mean, it sounds to me like 9 times out of 10, the quarterback will probably get that. But this guy just made a great play such that this 1 out of 10, he tipped it to himself and then just made a great play.
Well, the ball shouldn't have been thrown, right? Because the quarterback was coming on a blitz anyway. So the ball should never have been thrown there. The third
what should he have done? Take the sack? And you say he should have taken the sack?
No. I think he should have actually looked.
He said it shouldn't have been thrown. So what was he going to do?
He should have looked for another wide receiver because there was 4 wide receivers out.
But that's not what you said. You said it shouldn't have been thrown. So if it shouldn't have been thrown, that meant that he should have eaten it and taken the sack.
No, I'm saying he shouldn't have thrown the pass that he did. Maybe he should have thrown it to another guy.
Okay.
The third sack, with 30 seconds left in the game, I don't understand it because Tennessee at that point had gotten the ball. The game's tied. They were running it decently. It looked like they were kind of trying to play for overtime. They still had 1 or 2 timeouts left, but for whatever reason, they were kind of trying to do overtime. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, crap, it's 3rd down. And Tannehill throws it in between 3 Bengals. In between 3 Bengals, he tries and fits this pass in there. And if it wasn't a perfect pass, it was going to get tipped off, and it wasn't perfect. and our linebacker hit it up in the air, and here comes our a secondary linebacker to pick it off. Should have never thrown it.
Okay.
Should have never thrown that pass.
Okay. So just let me remind you that when you say that you're going to try to be neutral, you don't use words like our and stuff like that. He said our linebacker. You hear that, Miss Carey? He said our linebacker tipped the ball, but he said he was going to be neutral when he was talking. But go ahead, Trey. I'm my bad. Go ahead.
That's fine. I because it's my Bengals, you're still going to hate on me, but that's okay. So, but what I will say, I said at the beginning of the season, 1, we were going to be good. I did say that. 2, and Jason will back me up because we had this conversation. Our defense is a lot better than what people think. Our defense is legit. We have playmakers on all 3 levels of the field on the defensive back end, secondary linebacking core, and defensive line. They showed out. Joe Burrow threw for over 300 yards. Okay, over 300 yards. He still threw the ball. And
how many points y'all score with him 300 yards?
19.
Okay.
Against what is supposed to be a top 10 defense.
Top 10 defense, yep.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is win the game, and they won the game. So I don't know why the Bengals over here.
I agree. That's we talked about this earlier, and that's why I said to you in the chat, and now I'm gonna say it to everybody. The difference with me and you is just like I'm a 49er fan. We're getting ready to talk about them, I think, next anyway.
Yep.
I'm not happy about the 49ers the way we won because you're not going to win games like that very often. I mean, the bottom line is that when you block a punt, just like the way y'all won the other day, I don't think that they played well at all. And like I said, this is just being a student of the game and watching the way that they played. I think both teams stunk it up. I think that obviously Tannehill was just off. I don't know what he smoked or whatever. Before he went out there, he was just ridiculous. I mean, almost like he was just trying to throw the game away. But I'm saying to you that if I am on the Titans defense, I'm going back to the offense like, damn, I mean, can y'all not put some damn points on the board? I mean, seriously? I mean, you got to be damn kidding me. I mean, when you work that hard and then you look at the other side of the football, I guarantee you, I saw several times when those guys were going off to the sideline, I was watching them, you could see them yelling at the offense when they were going out there like, damn, will y'all go do something? Will y'all keep us off the field? I mean, can you please not give us another 3 and out so we get some time to – I mean, they were upset with the play that they were getting from their offense, and rightfully so. Okay. I mean, you got the great Julio Jones. I mean, you got, all these weapons over there. I don't think that Derrick Henry was well.
I don't think
he didn't run like the Derrick Henry that we know normally.
I agree.
So like I said, I think it might have even been a mistake playing him because, you'd rather just play somebody and get somebody ready to play that week who is 100% and hopefully that, he'll rise to the occasion. But
hold on, Coach. Before we go, because I know we need to go to the next game. We talked about this one for 15 minutes. You talk about the defense for the Tennessee Titans, and you're like, damn, they should be mad at their offense, right? They gave up 348 yards passing.
Okay.
348 yards.
But Travis, understand. But let me tell you something. Let me give you the analysis on that. They're on the damn field all day because their offense is keeping them out there. And you know what? When you have to play 80-something snaps because your offense is 3 and out and 3 and out and 3 and out, you get tired. I mean, I know that's hard for you to understand, but yeah, they get tired. So guess what happens when you get tired? You don't perform as well. So that's why. That's why that happened. You say they gave up. Well, they wouldn't have given that up if they were able to be out there the amount of time they're supposed to be out there, which is like maybe 50-something snaps. But when you have to play 80-something snaps, I mean, look at the number of plays that one team had versus the other. And I guarantee you're going to see that there's a big discrepancy there. And that's why, because they get tired from being out there on the field.
But my point is, when you talk about that, though, Coach, you don't attribute any credit to the Cincinnati Bengals for having created a situation where the defense had to stay on the field all the time. Like part of that, and where the Titans offense couldn't score. Why can't we say it was because of the Bengals defense?
This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you what Travis just said a few minutes ago. What did Travis say about that last interception that man threw? There are 3 damn Bengals sitting right there. I mean, how are you going to throw the ball? I mean, there's just no excuse for that. I mean, you want to give the Bengals credit for that? Like Travis just said, there is no way in the hell that ball should have been thrown. That's just a damn idiot. I mean, it's almost like somebody trying to throw the damn game. And he threw the ball in the middle of 3 Bengals. I mean, if there's 3 Bengals there, guess what? Somebody's ass ought to be open somewhere else. And this joker's going to try to throw the ball there. I mean, what credit is there to give for that? I mean, there's no real credit to give to them. It is just damn disdain to give to that other joker who threw the damn ball because he's an idiot.
Opportunity and preparation. And they took advantage of it. And we have to give them credit for having done that.
My whole thing is just like you say, I will give credit where I think credit is due. And like I said, I love the receivers. I think they were making plays all day. I saw it's very difficult to really, and my strategy, and I'm going to say this and we'll move on.
Yep.
My strategy is a little bit different. I would have taken my number 2 receiver or DB, my number 2 defensive back, not my best defensive back, and put him one-on-one with Jamar Chase. I would have taken my number 2 defensive back, put him on Jamar Chase, and doubled him with a safety. That way, that would have shut down Jamar Chase. Then you take your best defensive back and put him on their number 2 receiver. That way, you got him shut down. Now they got to go to number 3 all day. That, to me, is a better strategy, and that's what I've utilized when I've been a defensive back coach, is let's do it that way if we're trying to neutralize them and get them where they have to go to their number 3 receiver. Because their number 2 receiver is going to be shut down with our best corner. Their number 1 receiver is going to be bracketed coverage all night, so therefore they got to go to number 3.
So actually, they did bracket Jamar Chase pretty much.
I know they did, but they didn't bracket him with the right people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I watched the damn game. I know they bracketed him. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. They didn't bracket him right with the right personnel. Because that's why them other jokers are catching balls, because you don't have the right mix out there. And I think that's the best way to do it is, like I said, don't put your number 1 on their number 1. Put your number 2 on him with some help, and 2 grown-ass men ought to be able to cover him. And then take your number 1 and just absolutely shut down their number 2, because he should, because he's a number 1 going against number 2. And now that makes you have to go to number 3. So that's my form. That's what I would have done anyway. But anyway, Travis, go on. Let's move on to the next game.
Yeah, next game we got is the 49ers beating the Green Bay Packers.
What was the score?
13-10. Another
13-10. Now, I will say this, and the one caveat to this game is they're playing in Green Bay, and it's snowing and all that other nonsense that when I become the commissioner of this league, that ain't gonna happen. Because again, if you ain't got a dome, you ain't got no team when I take over. Because that's the kind of game I'm talking about right there. That shouldn't even happen. Well, how much you think they paid for them tickets? Well, what do you think ticket cost, Ms. Carey, to get in that game?
I didn't hear what you said.
How much those tickets for the game cost?
Yeesh.
I know, probably what. I guarantee some of them were about $5,000.
Yeah, easily.
And you sitting out there freezing your ass off. Can't wait to get in your car and get the hell out of there. And you done paid $5,000 for you and Chris. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why I don't like that. I mean, y'all talk all that bullshit you want when I'm commissioner. If you ain't got to do, I'm working for the fans, and the fan. Nobody wants to watch a game like that. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that about Green Bay and this and that. When you pay that much money for a damn ticket, I mean, I don't want to see people run around out there with their hands stuck in their pants because they're so cold. I want to see whoever the fastest guy is. If his ass runs a 4.2, I want to see that 4.2. I don't want to see him run the 4.9 because it's so damn cold out there. He can't even get loose. I want to see the 4.2, baby. Put me inside somewhere. I think all these playoff games ought to be played inside somewhere so we can see the absolute best of everybody. Now, back to the game. Again, I hate seeing these low scoring, and it's not like it was a slobber knocker. It's not like that. It's not like it was just one of these, where the defense was just grinding, and it was just so many mistakes and so many just so many mishaps. It was just sloppy. How many penalties? I mean, good God Almighty, the penalties. That's annoying to me when it seems like there's a penalty every play. And you're like, oh my God, are you serious? I mean, that's what coaches and players describe as just being sloppy when they have that many penalties. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, this was not the most entertaining game in the world. San Francisco offensively with Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't understand how they're winning these games. They look terrible. They slipped on a banana peel to block a punt. The special teams of Green Bay let them down. And I don't know what the Green Bay offense was doing. That first drive, they ran right through the San Francisco 49ers, and they didn't do anything the rest of the game. So I don't know what their mindset was for the rest of the game, why they decided to almost like sit on the ball, because it felt like the entire second half, they're just like, oh, San Francisco's not going to score a touchdown, so we've already got 10. They're not going to get to 10, so we're just going to kind of let clock run out. So I didn't understand it. I thought Aaron Rodgers needs to not be punished, but people need to start talking about, he's gone to one Super Bowl in 20-something years. So he's not a bad man like everyone says he is.
Miss Carey, what you think? I ain't going to let Travis get away with that, but I'm going to let you go first.
I did hear that, or during the game I was listening, and they said that I think Adams was the only targeted wide receiver.
Yep.
From Green Bay. So I do think what part of Aaron's gripe initially was they haven't put a team around him where he can be successful, in his opinion. And you saw that play out on Saturday. Was it Saturday?
Saturday.
That they didn't have the weapons. In my opinion, I'm watching like a spectator because I don't have the credentials you guys do. However, it just felt like they were relying on the same type of vanilla play that had gotten them success during the regular season. Mm-hmm. And I think San Francisco, you could see that they were not at all in the game. That things turned around when they blocked that punt, and they kind of got the momentum and started believing, and then, I mean, as luck would have it, there they are.
Now, Mr. Butler, I will say this. He said he disagrees with you, Carey, and that Jones, they were getting the ball to Jones. I agree with you there. And I think they were throwing him some little screens and some little passes and stuff like that. So that they were. I mean, I know that, but they said that the only wide receiver being targeted was Devontae. And I think that is correct. I was shocked that Randall Cobb's name wasn't even mentioned. I was like, I mean, is he not out there? I was like, I mean, surely he's out there, but I never even heard his name called. Even one ball even thrown in his direction. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. I think Aaron Rodgers is a hell of a quarterback. I think he'll wind up hopefully leaving Green Bay and going to somewhere doing a Matthew Stafford and getting on a good team where he's the piece. A team like maybe San Francisco. I've been trying to hold out a lot of hope for that he'll go do that, because San Francisco is showing they're a good team. They've got just an awful quarterback. I mean, I told y'all a long time ago I'm not a Jimmy G fan. I mean, I've been adamant about that. As a 49er fan, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. And we need a new quarterback. And I again lost the Super Bowl because of his ass a couple years ago. So I have no faith in us getting to the Super Bowl, especially, and we'll talk about it in a few minutes, the way that Los Angeles is playing. I mean, Jason turned the game off, and he put that up here, and I want to make sure you understand that. Jason said they used Rodgers' tendencies against him. They doubled Adams and even Cobb because Rodgers won't have a player or won't throw to a player he doesn't trust. And I'm with Jason. He's right. He's right about that. And guys, I mean, to say he threw the ball to Devontae Adams, he's been throwing the ball. I mean, he throws the ball to Devontae Adams 20 times every game. I mean, look at Devontae Adams' stats. I mean, you know, he's there. I mean, he's right there with Cooper Kupp. I guarantee he probably number 2 in the league as far as how many catches he's had, because he's this guy. And you know, when a quarterback and receiver have that kind of relationship, he gonna go there joke as many times as he can. And if you saw the coverage they were playing, where they were playing off him, yeah, he's gonna throw it out there to him every time. He's a playmaker. See if he can make a play. Now, what they did do good was they came up there and made the tackle, and you know, held him to 3 or 4 yards, which isn't much. And so, like I said, he wasn't breaking tackles and doing all that stuff like he normally does, because the footing was bad and all that other kind of stuff. And so therefore he was able to do that. But in any event, I don't think it's the last we'll see of Aaron Rodgers. I think that he will be back, definitely be back. And I think he will leave. Now they're saying all the right things in Green Bay. We're not going to do a rebuild. You know, we feel like we've got the team here. We just need a couple of pieces. Rodgers is one of those pieces. We want to keep him. They're doing all that, saying the right thing. But I don't think he'll stay. I really don't.
The problem, Coach, real quick, so we can move on to the next game, they can't afford it, but they're $40 million over the cap right now.
Mm-hmm.
$40 million over the cap. They're second in cap hit right now.
But a lot of that is Devontae, though. Devontae Adams is like, I think they said damn $40 million. I mean, so like I said,
so you're gonna get rid of Devontae Adams?
He got a crazy contract. Well, you might have to. You might have any choice if he's not gonna take a damn pay cut. I mean, like I said, you're gonna have to do something, because that's a lot for one guy. I mean, and that's my whole thing. You know, is that one guy that good that you might be able to get 3 guys in there who are other pieces that you need? I mean, dude, that's my whole thing.
I get that, but even if you're right, Devontae's $40 million. That's what his contract is. If you get rid of that, then they're sitting at 0. You still can't bring anybody else in.
I hear you. What's up, Soto? Soto just joined us. I agree with you, Jason. They said Jason said how bad is Jordan Love that they won't even entertain him as a starter. I think the thing is, Jason, they know that he's going to have to go through the same thing that all these other quarterbacks going through. What's your boy in Chicago? Justin Fields and all these other guys. They know that he's going to have to grow. Trey Lance. All these guys are going to have to, take their lumps and bumps. And they're like, we don't want to take lumps and bumps. That's what they mean when they say we're not going to rebuild. They're like, dude, we're trying to win now. We think we can win now, and we need these dogs in here to do it. So, like I said, I think that's what.
But Coach, I think we don't know what Jordan Love is, right? But you can win with a young quarterback in the NFL now. You're seeing it. Justin Herbert is a young quarterback, still on his first rookie contract, and is a young guy and started basically game 1, and they're competitive, right?
You understand? He had a great first year. He had a sophomore slump, which most guys do. He had a little bit of a sophomore slump. You know what I mean? You even if you say, okay, it's going to be by year 2, some of these guys ain't got a year 2. Like somebody just said over here in a few minutes, I think it was your dad. Aaron Rodgers been in the league for 17 years.
I know.
I mean, when that thing crashes, it crashes hard. I mean, ask Drew Brees. Drew Brees was throwing the ball, 60 yards one year, and then the next year he was throwing it 20.
Yep.
I mean, couldn't even get it 20.
You're right.
So I mean, when it goes fast. So, like I said, I mean, you got to try to win now, and I don't think you're going to do that with he's damn near still a rookie quarterback, because he hadn't played hardly at all.
I don't think you're going to get it with Aaron Rodgers right now with the contract. With the salary cap Green Bay has and the amount of money that they're over right now. I don't think they're going to do it with Aaron Rodgers, because they have too many pieces that are going to probably have to be gone.
I hear you.
Or if you just say, I'm going to keep everybody else, but we're going to let go Devontae Adams, because he's the one guy that if we let him go, we go back to 0, right? Or, pretty close to 0. You just let go a top 5 wide receiver and his number 1 guy. You really think that's going to make your team any better?
Well, Travis, let's just be glad you and I are not GMs in Green Bay right now and have to worry about that.
Well, I'm partial owner of the Green Bay Packers, so I do have to worry about it.
Okay. Well, as an owner, I'm sure you do. So anyway, what's the next game?
Next game is let's pull it up here real quick. Rams versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Can anyone stop the Rams? And will this be Tom Brady's last hurrah?
Dude, I'm telling you. Well, let's talk about Tom Brady first, and then we'll talk about the Rams. You know, I mean, Brady has always said, and he's always even talked about publicly, how he's been wrestling with his wife for years because she's been trying to get him to quit for years.
Yeah.
And, you know, he keeps on saying, just give me 1 more, 2 more, whatever. And whatever name is, Giselle or whatever name is, she's been on his ass about quitting for a while.
Yep.
And so he came out the other day in a statement that he said is, you know, my family is the number one thing that I'm battling here in trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So that's going to be my most major consideration is going to be towards them. And guys, I mean, saying that, I mean, I've never heard him really say that before. I think he could be done because, like I said, she's been wanting his ass out there for a while. So I don't know. It might be. Miss Carey, you think it's his last one?
I think it's his last one because I think that people are saying he's not going out like this. Like he's not going out on a loss. But he has nothing to prove to anybody. And Tom Brady knows that. I mean, he is not out here to prove anything to anybody. He has done his due diligence. He's got all the rings to prove it. And he's going to step into a position where he's still lucrative.
Oh,
he's
no
still
doubt.
got his TB12 brand. He's going to continue to make money. I mean, I really think he's done.
Maybe he could go around and sign autographs for the rest of his life and be a gazillionaire.
Right.
What you got, Travis?
Well, I don't think he's had nothing to prove for 5 years, right? I don't think that's the determining factor, right?
I don't think that's right. Wait, can I call a timeout real quick?
Yep.
So when he separated from Belichick, he had something to prove there because they were, what is it, Belichick or is it Brady?
I'm with you here. All right, I would agree with that. I'd agree with that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair. But then at the end of last year, then he would have hung it up. So he's got 1 year left on his contract right now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 1 year, because when he signed with Tampa Bay, he signed a 2-year contract. After year 1, they redid his contract to give him more money, but it was a 2-year contract. So he's got 1 year left on his contract. I think he's going to stay for 1 more year. I think he's going to convince Giselle and say, "Let me write out my contract," and then I think next year he'll be done. Because
I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on this, guys. I know how it is when it comes to family, and those guys are, all football players are big on family. I'm just going to tell you that because they know there's a big sacrifice that your family makes for you to, be able to do what you do and all that. And when they say it's time to go, I mean, it's very difficult to not, to keep on having that fight and that battle and everything else. At some point, you just got to give in and say goodbye.
And
next, let's talk about.
We've talked about, not maybe like but like the public has talked about Tom Brady retiring for the last 4 or 5 years, right? And every year people go, is this year, is this year, is this year? This is probably the first year that I can remember that Tom Brady has come out and said, "I don't know." Pretty much.
I know, that's what I was saying.
I think I'm going to be okay, right? But most people always speculate, is this going to be the first? Is this going to be it? This is going to be it. This is the first year that Tom Brady has come out and said, "I'm going to have to think on this one."
Like I said, when I saw that statement, that was the first time I'd ever seen him respond in such a manner. Yep. Now, talking about the Rams.
Yep.
I remember, and I don't know if you guys do, I wish we could call it up from last year or whatever. The interview that they had last year with Aaron Donald after the game when they lost, he was crying like a baby. I mean, he was so disappointed. And I mean, I loved it. I love to see the baddest man in the damn NFL, just a straight monster that cannot be stopped unless you triple team him. And this man is crying like a child. I mean, moaning, crying because they lost that game. And so when I see him now, I understand where that play is coming from, because that man has made it his mission that is not going to happen again. And woe be the person that's in front of him and in between him and the quarterback when he's out there playing, because that joker is a straight monster. And if he keeps that up, they are going to be hard to stop. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Miss Carey, what you think about that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what else is there to say? I agree. I think the only, for me, the person who has to step their game up for them to continue to win is Matthew Stafford.
Ain't no doubt. Ain't no doubt about that.
He's got to play better. He's got to play a more clean game. If he can clean that up, I don't know. I don't know who's going to stop him.
Keep that thought. Go ahead, Travis.
I agree with everything you just said, Coach. I'll say this. I was the one on here on the show that said if the team that the Bucs don't want to play the Rams because they're the ones that can beat them with that defensive line, and that defensive line whipped the crap out of Tom Brady. So
they did. I'll say this. The Bucs, their line did, but also Also, give credence to the fact that the line for Tampa Bay wasn't the line because their line was hurt. They had people hurt.
I know that, but I still don't know if it would have made that big of a difference because their defense, the Rams D line, is that talented.
Well, they got a good D line. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that wasn't the line that they've had all year long. Right. Because I think they had two subs in there, especially the damn blindside tackle. I mean, everybody knows you got to have a damn blindside tackle. That's like the second highest paid player on the damn team.
He got injured too. So they had a third string blindside.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean that's my whole point is this anyway. And again, I'm a Tampa Bay fan. Not my favorite team is the 49ers. I like Tampa Bay. I like them since Tony Dungy went there and won a Super Bowl. But I don't like them and follow them like that. But like I said, at the end of the day, I'm very encouraged. I agree with you, Ms. Carey. But if I have to put my money on Matthew Stafford or Jimmy G, shit.
Oh, hell, for sure.
I mean, you know good and well where my money going. Man, please. Jimmy G, are you kidding me? No, ma'am. I wouldn't put a doggone wooden nickel on Jimmy G. So anyway, go ahead, Travis. Let's get this last game.
Yeah, Kansas City and the Bills. One of the best games I've ever seen. One of the best NFL games in the history, I'd say.
I love that.
Shocked. I couldn't believe it.
I love that comment. Miss Carey, what do you think? I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna clean this up for y'all, but go ahead.
I'm going to say that was the worst game ever. The coaching was horrible.
Yes, it was.
The defense was horrible.
Come on now.
Who in the world are these coaches?
Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody.
So many different plays.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was not a good game. That was bad. We should be so angry at this NFL. That's what Coach told me to say. No, Coach didn't tell you to say that, but I'm glad that you did. Yeah, here's my thing, and don't get me wrong. Our coach, our offensive coordinator, put the stats for the last 2 minutes of the game, and like Patrick Mahomes had 2 touchdowns, 208 yards passing. He was like 8 for 11. I mean, just crazy. If you will watch, and Josh Allen was just as good, except I think he had 2 touchdowns, 2 for less yards and whatnot. But other than that, they were really, really close because they were talking about how both of them were just so clutch. But when you have an idiot on the sideline calling the defense, it's easy to let somebody be clutch. Just like Jason said,
the one touchdown, the first touchdown that made the Bills go ahead, the wide receiver, they're playing boundary coverage, which, like Jason said, they shouldn't be playing boundary coverage because bottom line is both teams still had timeouts at this time. So they don't want to let people get out of bounds. This guy who's playing boundary coverage is outside the receiver. The receiver goes down, steps at the guy, and then does an inside move. And for God knows whatever reason, the guy fell down. What are you falling down for? All the guy did was step at you. And that guy's knees just got weak and crumbled. That's what Travis said in the chat. Oh, they busted the coverage. And I quickly said, where you see a busted coverage? I don't see a busted coverage. And by then, Travis came back and said, oh, no, it wasn't a busted coverage. I see on the replay, the guy just fell down. For what? What you fall down for? All the receiver did was just step at you like this, and that joker's knee just got weak and crumbled, and then the guy ran it inside for a touchdown. I mean, bad. Number one, it was a bad defense that was called, and number two, it was just horrible play. I've got friends out there who played in the league, like Corey Harris, and I sent y'all his little snippet about what he said, but they were like, dude, this is some of the worst defensive back play I've seen in a long time. And that's my whole thing. I love the fact that everybody got all gassed up and was all high, and everybody is saying the same type of stuff Miss Carey just said. Oh my God, or like Travis said, best Super Bowl ever. Oh, best game, best playoff game. Oh, we're just so excited. It didn't have to be that exciting. Shouldn't have been that exciting. But you had just some badass play calling combined with some badass play. And it was just terrible. I mean, it was just, again, hard for me to watch because it is that way. Did I watch it? Watched every minute of it. Watch it. I know Herb is on here. Herb mad, he mooing and all this other stuff. He mad because, dude, my whole thing is that, like I said, it just was not good football. I love seeing good football in a good game, and that's what I enjoy. This wasn't good football. Go ahead, Travis.
When's the last good game you saw?
Ooh,
what year was it?
It's been a minute. No, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, I feel like the last couple Super Bowls that have been played, because normally the Super Bowl is a terrible game. You know, it's normally a molly-whopping one way or another, or something like that. But the last couple of years, the last two Super Bowls we've had, I think they've been both pretty good games. I mean, I thought they were pretty enjoyable. And look at it, too, in that, to me, you know, if a game is somewhere around 28, 35, somewhere in that range, that's to me, I'm an offensive guy. I'm not trying to watch no 7-6 Super Bowl, you know, or you know, when he Lamar Jackson, you know, 9. Well, you like, how did they score 8 points? You know, they just got some weird number like, you know, 12. You're like, how the hell do you score 12 points in football? Well, you're just trying to figure it out. It's like 4 field goals or something stupid. You know, you're like, man, or they had 2 safeties or something. You're like, how they get 2 safeties? You know, it's just one of them things where you're just like, this is awful. And that's what I'm saying is that I think because in the league, don't just act like this me. All you defense guys, don't be putting nothing in the chat about, oh, coaches don't like defense. The NFL don't like defense either. That's why they make all the damn rules to favor the offense, where you can't touch a guy after 5 yards as a wide receiver and all this other kind of stuff. Where you can't sneeze on a quarterback. You get close to a quarterback, if the wind from you knocks that quarterback over, it's a penalty. So the league is just like me. They do the same thing. So that's what I'm saying is that you like to see a high-powered kind of high, but you don't want to be crazy now where there's no defense. You know, where these guys are winning like 49-48. Ain't nobody trying to see that either. But you want it to be somewhere, like I said, somewhere around the 21 to 35 kind of area. That, to me, are the most exciting games. I think if you look back at the Super Bowls, the last couple, it's been that. So, yeah, thank you, Soto. Ain't nobody trying to watch no damn 0-0 game in a playoff game or no 6-3. You know, one of them Titans versus Ravens. You know, who trying to see Tannehill versus Lamar Jackson do anything?
Hey,
I don't want to see them jokers damn spit at each other. I don't want to see nothing that they want to do.
You don't have to worry about seeing Tannehill this year because we already eliminated him, so you're good to go.
Well, hopefully we won't see Tannehill, period. I mean, he needs to go. I mean, look, last time I said somebody need to go, and y'all sat up and laughed at me, this, that, and all that, was Ben Roethlisberger. And Ben Roethlisberger's ass has just ruined Pittsburgh. I mean, you want to talk about put them in a bad spot, and look who they got behind him. Nobody. No,
Rudolph.
they talking about bringing in Jameis Winston. Oh, my God. Bless their hearts. I mean, good God Almighty. But that's what I'm saying. These guys need to go on ahead and get their asses out. Now, we got a little bit of time left, so I'm going to talk about this. Y'all heard the rumor about Sean Payton might be going to the they said that I just saw breaking news said that he is retired. He decided he's going to retire because they want him in Dallas, supposedly. Supposedly, Dallas is going crazy about trying to get him down there.
I haven't. The official terminology they're using is stepping down. I don't know if they're saying retired, but
the clip I saw again, the clip I saw on Facebook, on whatever, Twitter or what I think it was Twitter, said that breaking news he had decided he was going to retire.
Okay.
So I don't know if by doing that he can leave and go be with the Cowboys or whatever. I don't know what he's doing, but Tom Benson, the owner of the Saints, his comments weren't very gleaming. He sounded like he wanted him out. So I don't know if they had a little war of words or whatever, but definitely the relationship has been a little bit wavered between him and Tom Benson, who's the owner. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen here in Dallas. But Dallas got other problems other than that because they're about to lose their defensive coordinator. I think that used to be the head coach of the Falcons, Dan Quinn. I think Quinn is gone. I mean, he's gone somewhere.
Yep.
I think you're going to see a couple of these guys. I think Kansas City is really, really hoping they win this Super Bowl. I think you're going to see some movement there too.
Yep.
I think the Bieniemy is probably going to be out somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I think he's going to be out.
There are 9 open NFL head coaching jobs right now. 9.
And there should be. There probably should be 15.
That's the most in a long time.
They need to get rid of that joker in Dallas. I know that. Mike McCarthy needs to go.
Yeah.
That's another one. Should be 10 if he get his fat ass out there and go too, because he needs to go.
Okay. So real quick, we got a few minutes left. I got 3 questions left. Okay. 1, who should be the offensive rookie of the year?
I think Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Miss Carey?
Yeah, I would say Jamar Chase. That's the Cincinnati Bengal dude, right?
Yeah, receiver.
I would agree. Okay, number 2, and you brought these ones up, Coach. Coach of the year. Who would you take for Coach of the year?
I can't. I'm not a Coach of the Year guy because I don't know everybody's records and this and that and all that. I would say. I'm gonna let y'all go first. Let me see if I agree with one of y'all.
Why not the Bengals coach?
Huh?
I said, why not the Bengals coach?
Zach Taylor.
I know who it is. I'm just sitting up here thinking. Give me another one.
So if it were me, I would actually go with Mike Vrabel, but I think Zach Taylor would be second. But I would go Vrabel just because Derrick Henry was out for half the season. And they still got the number 1 seed in the AFC. I would
see that's what I'm saying. I don't have all that information just in my head, so that's why I can't really make. Let me think. I'll have it for you next week. Go ahead, Miss Carey.
I'm gonna say I'm Vrabel. They lost most of the games when Derrick Henry was out. They went as number 1 seed because they were 8-1 or 8-2 before he got hurt. He got hurt. They lost 5 games straight. Or something close to that. They were losing their games when he was out.
I think they lost like 3 out of like 5, something like that. But they still got the number 1 seed. So I get your point. I get your point, though.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to not put Zach Taylor up there as a Bengals fan. I think he's 2. I would still give it to Vrabel just by the slimmest of margins, though.
Real quick, Mr. Butler, I just want you to know I'm not ignoring you. We're going to talk about the overtime rule next week because we don't have enough time to give it credence. But we'll talk about the overtime rule and the pros and cons and all that stuff later. But that's a very good question. And we'll address that next week, so y'all have to tune in for that. Irvin Payne said the Falcons coach for taking the damn job. That's who ought to be the coach of the year.
I like that. I like that he didn't show up. You see, he didn't show up. He's behind a computer typing.
Go ahead, Trav.
Last question I got. AFC NFC championship game. Give me your predictions. I'll start with the AFC first, okay? Since that's the 3:00 game.
Go ahead, Miss Carey.
At Kansas City. Miss Carey, you go first.
Wait, tell me let's do the teams. Go ahead. Who's playing?
Cincinnati at Kansas City.
I'm Kansas City.
Travis.
You know I'm riding with my Bengals.
Oh, we know that. I just did that for just a formality.
I'm a true fan, so I got to. And real quick, I think we do have a chance. We've already played them once this year. We won the game. We've seen that offense. I think we have a shot. Okay, I don't think we're going to get blown out. I think we have a shot.
Yeah. Kansas City in a blowout.
Okay. NFC, San Francisco at the LA Rams.
Miss Carey.
I mean, I'm going LA Rams, but it's not lost on me that the LA Rams that San Francisco has beat the LA Rams consecutively. So it makes me nervous. But remember I said Matthew Stafford was going to win MVP, and I thought they would win the division. So I'm hoping that I'm going with the Rams.
He ain't gonna win no MVP, but go ahead, Travis.
I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford will find a way to win it. I will go with the Rams.
Matthew Stafford ain't going to have to do shit. He hand that ball off to Cam, what's the name? Cam Akers. And he going to have to throw a couple of small balls. He might throw some little screens to Odell Beckham and whatnot. It's going to be a molly-whopping. This game is both these games are going to be molly-whoppings this week. Give me LA. They ain't nowhere in the hell. Jimmy G gonna fight his way out of this bag. He can't get out of this wet paper bag. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Watch this. Watch this.
The one thing I'll say, Debo has put up over 120 yards both games. I'm
not sure Debo's gonna be Debo and I've been worried about this. I love him.
I do too.
I would even give him some MVP consideration. That joker is a beast.
Yes.
But the bottom line is that he runs too hard. And I mean, when you take those licks and stuff, like I was afraid what happened the other day. When he got hit, I was like, dang, that's exactly what I was worried about with him because he just runs so fiercely every single play. And it hurt my heart when he got hurt. So Tom said he believes in the Bengals. Good for you, Tom. Good for you, because they about to take that ass whipping. Oh, I can't wait. I might have to go down to Travis' house with him and Jason and watch this with them so I can really enjoy this. Just like Stephen A. When they show them Bengals fans crying and all that other stuff, I'm going to be just like Stephen A., baby. I need to be right there in the building. Travis, I want to come feel your pain. I want to be right there so I can feel it.
I don't think you're welcome.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going down there, Miss Carey. Miss Carey, don't try to stop me.
Take your phone. No, I don't say. Take your phone.
I hear you, Miss Carey. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. Once again, as always, we appreciate everybody for being out there tonight. I saw Miss Hood in the building. I don't know what got Soto in the building tonight. Soto, it's good to see you. Soto in the building. I saw Irvin Payne. He couldn't be here on the show. Irvin coaches girls basketball. And so he couldn't be here. And we have somebody, who was that, Jane Marie? Or somebody was on here earlier?
Lynn Marie.
What's her name? Lynn Marie? Lynn Marie. Well, thank you, Miss Lynn Marie, for being on the show tonight. Always Mr. Butler, of course. Always Tom, of course. And Jason, of course, Jason out there somewhere. Ain't no telling what Jason doing tonight, Travis. What Jason and he wasn't on the show tonight.
Don't know.
Oh, Irv said they had a tough loss today. Irv, that's what. Who they? There you go. That who they? Who they gonna get the block?
That's right, Lynn Marie. That's right.
Hey.
Who they?
Who they gonna get to bring the Kleenex boxes for them tears gonna be in that Cincinnati locker room? Better have a bunch of orange and black Kleenexes in there. I can tell you that right now. Anyway, we got to get out of here. Good night, Miss Francis.
Straight from the hip.
All right, guys. I appreciate